Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmek Technologies and you are welcome to our series Great Kings of India. And today we are discussing one of the wonderful king, Lalita Ditya. He is the most powerful king of ruler of Kolkata dynasty. And it is said that in few chronicles that he is a world conqueror. And his empire included not only Indian parts but also Afghanistan and Central Asia. To discuss more about this wonderful king, we have reputed historian Ms. Meera Joshi, who is the head of the department of one of the prestigious college, St. Anne's College in Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, Meeta ji.
Namaskar, Kanchan. How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm also good.
Yes. And today we are discussing a wonderful profile of great King Lalitadit. And I just want to share one thing. I happened to visit his Avantipur in Kashmir. And since that, I'm mesmerized the kind of structure I've seen there. So I would like to listen more about this wonderful uh, ruler of India.
See, Lalita Ditya belonged to the Karkota dynasty of Kashmir, and it is also said that this Karkota dynasty evolved from the mythical Naga dynasty. Okay, and he was termed as a word conqueror by one of the writers of Kashmir, Kalhana. So Kalhana wrote one account known as Raj Tarangini, in which he describes Laitaditya as a word conqueror. And to tell you, Kanchan, the meaning of Raj Tarangini is rulers of the river. Okay, rulers of the river.
Okay.
So uh, Kalhana has explained his reign as such that he was ruling all the extents of the rivers of India, not only in India, Afghanistan, Central Asia also.
Okay.
And if you view the historical accounts, not only in Kalhana's Rashtarangini, we get the mention of Lalita Ditya in the book of Tang Dynasty of China. So that means he had relations with China also that time. Some historical accounts they put up that one of his ministers, Count Kun, was of Chinese origin. So that means he had, extent till China. And if we see his time period, it is from 724 to 760 CE.
Okay.
Why he is termed as a world conqueror is that he was the king who not only stopped the Arabian and Turkish invasions in India, but also established his empire in most major parts of India, Afghanistan, and the Central Asia. He is also termed as the Alexander of India. So why? Because Alexander also boasted to be a world conqueror. So same way, the Kashmiri author Kalhana, he wrote about him that he was a world conqueror, not only a world conqueror, a person who built the empire, who developed all the areas of art, architecture, and he was a great builder. Apart from a military general, he was a great builder. He why he is termed as a world conqueror, because first of all he defeated a very famous king, Yashovarman of Kannauj,
Right.
and finally Yashovarman submitted to him, and not only Yashovarman but other rulers that time, they all accepted his suzerainty. And why he is praised in all the records is because he was the one who stopped all the foreign invasions that time, all the Arabian the Turkish invasions which were happening in India, and the time period in which he ruled. He ruled for around 37 years. So that time period in which he ruled, they are free of foreign invasions. Otherwise, before that, you find lot of foreign invasions happening, because 326 you get Alexander coming to India, and many other Arabian and Turkish invaders also.
Right.
But his rule, that almost 37 years he ruled, that was free of invasions.
Okay.
That means his army was very strong, his empire was huge, and he was a good administrator, because he was able to manage this huge empire sitting at Srinagar, because Srinagar was the traditional capital, but he developed his new capital that was known as Parihaspur.
Okay.
Still it is there, Parihaspur. Parihaspur means a smiling place.
Okay.
So he developed his capital there, and he controlled the entire India, Central Asia, and Afghanistan from there.
Okay.
Not only in terms of his military conquests, he is also known in history because of his, love for temples. So many temples he built,
Yes.
and one of the temples which is 3 miles away from Anantnag in Kashmir,
Right.
it is the Sun Martand Temple. It is the Sun Temple.
Yes.
We only get the ruins now because it was ruined by one Islamic invader. He ordered rather to destroy the temple.
Right.
So this Sun Martha temple has a huge temple in between, surrounded by 84 smaller shrines.
Right.
So, and very beautiful architecture. Very beautiful architecture.
Yes.
And not only this Sun Marthan temple, he built temples of Shiva, Vishnu, all deities. He built the temples, but unfortunately, the invaders who came, they destroyed all the beautiful architecture which was left by Lalita Aditya. Not only this, because that time, there was scarcity of water probably, because of, as we know, Kashmir is very, very cold. So he built many bunds. Bunds means small water bodies for the purpose of irrigation, and canals which he got built from the rivers, canals for the irrigational purposes.
Right.
So not only we can remember him as a military general, but a builder who has who left a good legacy. But unfortunately, as I said, the invaders, the Islamic invaders, they ruined it. They rather gave orders to ruin it, so, which is very, very unfortunate. And see, it has not only happened in Kashmir in the reign of Lalita Aditya, but if you move down to Gujarat, Mahmud Ghazni, he attacked Somnath temple many times.
Right.
Why? Because it was a very rich temple.
Right.
Very rich temple.
Right.
So, to tell you the fact, Ghazni, he invaded India 17 times.
Right.
From 1000 to 1017 AD. So not only in Kashmir, so many places these invasions has happened, which have, destroyed our heritage, because all these temples, monuments, they come under heritage, and they tell us about the history.
Right. Right.
So much of destruction was done in the previous years, in the past, and now I will divert from the topic, Kanchan.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm not talking as an individual, I'm talking as a common person. Now, when we we want to undo that which has happened. So lot of communal questions they come up.
Ac-
Many communal questions
yes, right.
they sprung up.
Yes, actually, we don't realize this is a part of our heritage and we should be proud of it. As I told you, when I visited Avantipuram, it was so mesmerizing because even the ruins, the architecture on the pillars and the stones which I've seen that point of time, which were really very artistic. And you really feel and you have that kind of greatness when you touch any of these stones, and it is spread on in a vast area, and that unfortunately it is all in a stone, I mean ruined.
You are getting the ruins.
Right,
And just imagine if we had the original temple, how grand, how beautiful it would be.
right, right,
Main temple surrounded by 84 small shrines.
right.
And it was the temple of sun god, because Martand is another name of sun. So not only for the sun, but he built temples for Shiva, Vishnu, and other Hindu deities. And why Lalitaditya is also praised in the pages of history, as I told you, not only for his military conquests, but for the work which he did for his subjects, for the public, because he cared for the public. He built those water bodies, bunds, canals for irrigation. And not only that, we in Kallana's Raj Tarangini, we get account that the statues which were built, they were huge, and maybe that was exaggerated also, because seeing the time period, you feel little confused at how they were able to erect so huge statues of gods and goddesses. But Kalhana's Raj Tarangini, which was written in the 12th century CE, gives us a very detailed account about his reign, about Lalitaditya's reign. Though he, see, now if you do a comparison, because some people they compare Lalitaditya as a word conqueror, and they also compare him with Alexander, because they say he was the Alexander of India. But one unique thing about him was he was not into brutal killing, which Alexander did. So that difference we have to understand. He was not. He just when he went for conquests, there was always this option given to the king, that if it is your wish that you submit to us, or you have a battle or fight. So that way, treaties were also done, and many agreements were made. So it was not all that brutality. So when we compare him with Alexander, it is good, because as the history portrays Alexander as a great king, Alexander the Great. So we should also call Lalitaditya the Great. But unfortunately, Kanchan, mention of Lalitaditya is not in our history books, which is very, very sad.
Yes, very sad.
Why,
And any who doesn't.
our why our children are deprived of the heritage and the great times which our kings had in India.
Right.
So this is little unfortunate, actually.
Yes, really very unfortunate, because any king who has ruled such a vast empire and so for so many years, he should be, and without benevolent or without caring of subject, no king can rule in such a vast area and such a long time. And of course, Lalita, that has to be taught in school and of course in colleges also, because he is a part of our rich heritage and he was a great king.
And even Al-Biruni, even in Al-Biruni's accounts, he is mentioned because his name was Laitaditya Muktapida.
Okay.
So Al-Biruni mentions Muttai,
Mhm.
which is an upbranch of Muktapida.
Okay.
Tang dynasty of China, they
Okay.
mention his name.
Okay.
So that means he was known far and wide.
Okay.
His glory was far and wide. So,
Yes.
but unfortunate that foreigners knew about him, but now our generation they don't know about the great kings. And I should be thankful to you, Kanchan, because at least you have taken up this task of exploring the great kings of India. So at least through this series, we will be able to tell our students, the common public, about the great kings which existed,
Yes.
who were really great.
Yes, and actually, it is something which really makes us proud, which should make us proud that we belong to such a great country, that we have so great people like Lalita Ditya, or like maybe Harshvardhan, maybe Ashoka, Chandragupta. So, and then we should have pride in this aspect of our culture and traditions.
Yes, and see why India was known as Sone ki Chidiya that time, because of the prosperity.
Right.
And it was this wealth and prosperity only which lured the foreign invaders to come to India. Alexander, Gori, Ghazni, you know, they all came to invade the wealth.
Right.
So,
Yes.
and how India was so much wealthy and prosperous
Mm.
because of the rulers, because of their policies, because of their administration.
Mm.
Because see, when if a head of the family is not good,
Mm.
you cannot expect a good family.
Right.
Same way, if the ruler is not good, you
Mm.
cannot expect a flourishing country.
Right.
So that means our kings were great,
Right.
who were glorified even in our Puranas, Vedas, all the ancient texts. They sing the glory of our kings.
Right.
So we should be proud of that heritage.
Right.
As Indians, we should be proud of our culture, of our heritage, of
Right.
our history,
Mm.
which is really magical, mesmerizing,
Yes. Definitely.
beautiful.
Definitely. It was so wonderful to talk to you, Mitaji, today and discuss one of the greatest King Lalita Ditya. We'll be discussing more about his period in our other series. Till then, bye
Yeah, we
bye.
will cover about his military conquests
Yes.
in detail.
Yes, we'll be discussing military conquest in detail in our next series. So till then, bye bye. Take care.
Thank you.